Now, the second thing I wanted to share with you today, based off of Matthew 3, is a different line of thought, right? And let's read Matthew 3:15. It says, "But Jesus said, it should be done, for we must carry out all that God requires." So John agreed to baptize him. Now I'm going to take it a bit backwards just so you get some context. So this is the baptism of Jesus. So before Jesus arrived on the scene, John the Baptist was preparing the way for him. He was the one telling people, oh, there's someone greater coming, that I'm not worthy to tie his shoelaces, stuff like that, right? So before Jesus was to start ministry, he went to John to be baptized. And I'm reading from verse 13, Matthew 3:13. It says, "Then Jesus went from Galilee to the Jordan River to be baptized by John. But John tried to talk him out of it. 'I am the one who needs to be baptized by you,' he said. 'So why are you coming to me?' 15. But Jesus said, 'It should be done, for we must carry out all that God requires.' So John agreed to baptize him." Now, what did I learn? What did the Holy Spirit minister to me when I read this? Just one thing, and I'll say it very quickly. Don't let well-meaning people, even of God, who were not present when God spoke to you, to derail you or talk you out of your kingdom assignment. I'm gonna let that sink in for a bit. Don't let well-meaning people, I'm not even talking about people who don't mean well. I'm talking about people who wish the best for you. Don't let them talk you out of what you know that you know that God said you should do. Don't let them talk you out of it. John the Baptist tried to do that to Jesus. He said, how can I'm not worthy to baptize you. There's no way. Heck no, I'm not baptizing you, Jesus. Well, what did Jesus tell him? It has to be done. This is how, you see, God is a God of order. It might not make sense to you, but there's certain principles that God has laid for us to obey. Okay? There's due process with God. So that was the way God chose, right? And God will speak to you certain times. He speaks to you and he tells you, do this. Don't let someone who wasn't there when God spoke to you talk you out of what God said you should do. Okay? It's happened to Jesus again. Peter, when it was time for Jesus to die, Peter tried to talk him out of it. He said, God forbid. Let's read it. We see it in Matthew 16:22. Let's read it. What does it say? But Peter took him aside and began to reprimand him for saying such things. Heaven forbid, Lord, he said. This will never happen to you. Peter was so fired up. Peter was the sanguine, he's like, everybody, received the news. Jesus was announcing to them, what's about to happen to him. I'm about to die, yada, yada, yada. And Peter, with all the enthusiasm in the world, tells Jesus, God forbid, this will not happen to you. But Jesus knew for a fact, without a shadow of doubt, my Father told me to do this. This is what my Father has said. This is the assignment. I know the goal. I know what God has said to me, okay? This is what I need to do, right? And Peter, because Peter loved Jesus, and that's the thing. That's why I say well-meaning people. You could be your loved ones, people who really care about you, because they can't see, like, as human beings, we can't see what God is doing, okay? God's ways are not our ways. So there's this thing in man about self-preservation. We try to preserve ourselves. We try to preserve those that we love. It's just in it. It's natural. If someone tells you they're going to do something that seems counter self-preservative, you're going to try to discourage them. That's the natural cause, or response. So do not let people talk you out of what God has told you to do. It also happened to Eve, okay? It happened to Eve, and she let the enemy, Satan, talk her out of what she knew was a fact. Adam told her. Adam conveyed the message that God gave them to her. Said, you can eat all the fruits in the garden except this one. Satan wasn't there when Jesus told them, told Adam. Satan wasn't there when Adam told Eve. But Eve listened to Satan, and see where we are today. So yeah, this is big. Do not let people talk you out of what God has called you to do, what God has told you, the specific assignment God has given to you, because God is not going to ask them. God is going to ask you.